Hello everyone. In this session we will discuss about the non-contiguous memory allocation. So here in this non-contiguous memory allocation we have two techniques. One is paging and another one is a segmentation. In the further slide we will study about the paging concept and the structure of the page table and the segmentation part. Right, first we see what is paging. Paging, take an example of your textbook or take an example of your notebooks. See, you can see that in all the pages or length and width of all the pages are equal. Right, in the similar way, take the example of main memory. Here, breaking the main memory or physical memory into fixed sized block. So this fixed sized block is called it as a frames. In the similar way, take an example of secondary memory. Here also we divide the logical memory or secondary memory into equal number of same sized block, that each block is called it as pages. So always the size of the pages and the size of the frames are equal. See, the size of the frame and size of the pages are always equal. So you need to map this page table into frames, right? So for that your CPU will generate the page logical address. So this logical address is a combination of the page number and the page offset. Say for example, assume that this page offset value is 10 bits. This length of this page offset is 10 bits. And what is logical address? That logical address is nothing but the address it will be generated by your CPU, right? The logical address space. The logical address space is nothing but it is a set of all logical addresses that will be generated by your program. Okay, so here the logical address space is 13 bits. This length of this logical address is 13 bits, right? This page offset length is 10 bits. Assume this page offset length is 10 bit. What is then P? P is a page number. It will identify the page table. It is offset or index to the page table. I'll tell you what is page table in the next slide. See, so the length of this page P, the length of this index P is 13 minus 10, that is 3 bits. What is the length of page number? It is 3 bits, right? So here your CPU will generate the logical address. That logical address, it is a combination of the page number and the page offset. By using this page number, it is an index to the page table. So this page table contains the page offset or this index, and this will contain the actual frame number. This page table will contain the actual frame number. By using this page offset, you can identify the particular frame number. By using this frame number, as once you find out the page number, then add this frame number with the D value. This is page offset value. You will get the physical address. Once you generate the physical address, you can invoke the main memory and you can access that particular frame. This is the paging concept. Always the size of the frames and size of the pages are always equal. Please make this mark this point. So take this example. Here this is, say for example, we have process 1, P1. So that process P1 will be divided into 4 pages, page 0, page 1 and page 2, page 3. So this is the page table. So I want to search the page 0. So here page 0 is the index of the page table. So page 0, come here, 0. So this is the frame number 1. You can identify 1 here and you can access this page 0. The similar way, take an example of page 3. Here 3 is the index of the page table. Go here, page 3, and you can identify the frame number 7 here and go that 7 frame number, and you can identify the page 3 content here. So you can access this page 3 here, right? So this is the example. It contains only 1 bit. Say for example, your page contain 4 bits or 4 bytes. In that case, take this example. This is the logical address 0. See, here we have 4 frames, and each frame will be 4 pages, and each pages will be divided into 4 bits. It contains 4 bits, right? 4 bits. Take this example, logical address 0. So logical address 0 means it is a page 0. Page 0, this is page 1, and this is page 2, and this is page 3, right? This is page 0. Logical address 0 is nothing but page 0. Come here, this is offset, right? Page 0 is the offset of the page table. Then you can identify the here frame number, but the variation in the page size, right? For that reason, 5 into 4 bits plus this is the value, right? This 0 is here, so it is the value 20. So here, where is 20? 20 here. Yes, you can identify A here. The similar way, take another example. Here logical address 3. See, logical address 3. Logical address 3, again it is a page 0. Come here, page 0. So take this example 5, right? Frame number 5. 5 into 4 bits plus see here, what is this? 0, 1, 2, 3. Offset of this is 3. So add 3. You will get 23. So by 20, 21, 22, 23. Yes, you can identify D here, right? Take another one example, logical address 8. So logical address 8 is nothing but this is page 0, page 1, page 2. Here is page 2, right? So 1 into 4, but the offset of this I is 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Right? In this particular page, this I offset is 0. So for that, I am adding 0 here. So 1 into 4 plus 0 is 4. Yes, by this 4, you can easily identify I, right? So next is, take this example. See, here this is process P1, and we divide that process P1 into 4 pages, right? This is the available list. So first page 0 will be stored in the first available list 14, and page 1 will be stored in the 13, and page 2 will be stored in the 18, and the similar way page 3 will be stored in the 20. This is the main memory, and here this green color will indicate the available space, available frames. So by using this, after storing this into page 0 will be stored in the 14, page 1 will be stored in the 13, and page 2 will be stored in the 18th frame, and page 3 will be stored in the 20th frame. After this, you will construct the page table. This is your page table, new page table. So now this is your new page table, and you can identify the available list. So in that, only the frame 15th frame will be available. It is free. So this is your main memory. That yellow color will indicate the new pages entered into the main memory, and that green color will indicate the free frame, that is available free frame in the main memory. Next, we see how to implement the page table. So in that, first we have several methods to implement the page table. First, in the initial days, we are using the registers to construct the page tables. So yes, how many number of register can we use? 1, 2, 10, 250. Yes, if the page table entries is very small, you can easily use the registers to construct the page table. So because registers is a very fastest memory, smallest memory, and it is a fastest device, as everyone knows this, right? It is a fastest device. So first initial days, that's why we are using register to construct the page table. But if the number of entries is more, we cannot afford that registers. So for that reason, we go with a second technique. Here we first we store all the, we construct the page table, and that page table will be stored in the main memory. So for that main memory, we use, for that page table we use one base register, that page table base register, and it acts like a pointer, and it will point to that particular page table. But in this, so to identify the particular page number, we need to identify, we need to search from top to bottom and need identify the page table and identify the page entries. So next, after identify that page number, you need to again search the main memory to identify that particular data. So here you cannot, so it takes more time. That is the main disadvantage here. Again, to overcome this disadvantage, we use the translation look aside buffer. So again, it is similar to your page table, but in this translation look aside buffer, it contains, contains again rows and columns, and each columns and rows, it is a combination of page number and the corresponding frame numbers. So first, in the previous slides, we, yes, that physical address, once you'll CPU will generate the logical address by using that p value, you identify the frame number in the page table. But in this translation look aside buffer, first we check that once we identify the logical address by using that p number, you identify the frame number. How to identify? First we see the translation look aside buffer table. So if that page number is present in that table, you can identify the corresponding frame number in that. So by using that, you can construct the physical address and identify that particular frame, right? If that page number is present in the TLB, then it is called page TLB hit. If that page number is not present in that TLB, in that case we go again search that page number in the page table. So then you'll identify the frame number. If that the page number is not present in the TLB, then it is called TLB miss. Then you identify that page number in the page table and identify the frame number, and again develop the or construct the physical address and identify the frames in the main memory. So in some TLB, it will stores the address space identifiers in each TLB entries. So in this, uniquely identifies each processes, and it is used to provide the address space protection, right? So in each process, for each process execution, that TLB will be flushed and reconstructed again. So TLB ratio, what do you mean by TLB ratio? TLB ratio is nothing but it is a percentage of times that a particular page number is found in the TLB. It is called as the TLB ratio. See here, your CPU will generate the logical address. So in the previous slide, first we search in the page table, but here in this TLB, first we search in the TLB table, translation look aside buffer table. So it is a combination of page number and the corresponding frame number. So if this is present here, this particular P will present here, you can easily identify the frame number. So if it is present, then it is called as TLB hit, and you can directly construct the physical address, and you can identify the, you add this frame number with the page offset and you can identify the frame here, right? If this page number is not present in this TLB, then we search that in the page table and identify the frame number, and you add this F with the page offset and then identify the frame here. See, next is a protection. How to protect your entries, page table. So for that, here we are adding in the page table. So page table, it contains the frame number. Corresponding with this page number, we will add one bit called valid or invalid bit, right? So here we attach to each entry in the page table valid or invalid bit. When this bit is set to valid, then it is nothing but the associated page is in the process's logic address space, right? If it is V, this frame number is corresponding with the valid bit V, we set it is V, then it is nothing but page is in the process's logical address space, this logical address space, and this is legal page and you can access it. Say for example, if we set this bit as I, it is an invalid bit and you cannot access it. Say for example, here it contains only the 6 pages, and this page table contains, it can contain 8 entries, but this page is only 6 pages. So the remaining 2, it is invalid, you cannot access this pages. Next is a shared pages. Say for example, your system will support the 40 users and all 40 users are individually using the text editor. So that text editor consists of the 150 kilobyte of code as well as it will contain the 50 kilobyte of data space. So all individual users, all 40 users individually use this text editor and it is non-shareable mode. In that case, it will require the 8000 kilobyte of space. Is it possible? Is it feasible? No, right? So for that reason, here the text editor code, that 150 KB, it is common to all 40 users. Only the data space is varied from one user to another user. So we need to take only this concept in mind. Take this example. Here we have 3 users and that text editor part, that 150 KB of code is common to all 3 users. All 3 users. See, so that in the main memory, that ed1, ed2, ed3, that is text editor code, it is similar to all. So for that, this space will be shared among all these processes. But the only thing here is only the data part, that data space is varied from process to process or user to user. See, data 1 is for user 1, that will be stored in the 1 here. In the similar way, this is the user 3 and that data 3, it will be stored in the frame number 2. But this is in the non-shareable mode. This text editor code, it is in the shareable mode. So totally, if you share this pages, then totally it needs only the 2150 KB of space. Next is the structure of the page table. So in the structure of the page table, we have 3 different structures. One is hierarchical paging, another one is a hashed page tables, and another one is a inverted page tables. So this inverted page table, it is also called as modern page table. See, hierarchical, what do you mean by hierarchical? It is like tree like structure, right? So here we have n number of entries, page table entries. In that we cannot maintain all entries in the large page table. So for that reason we divide that page table into different levels. So in this example I am taking 2-level paging scheme. So that, see, this is a outer page table entry, and this is a inner page table entry, and this is the offset. So by using all these things you can construct the logical address. So in this logical address, say for example the length of this is 32-bit. So this 32-bit will be divided into page offset. So for page offset it is 12-bit, and the remaining 20-bit it is for page number. And to identify here, the P1 it is the index of the outer page table, and P2 is the index of the inner page table. And here this is what is the length of the P1, what is the length of P2? It is 10-bit, 10-bit, right? By using these three you can construct or you can identify the logical address. See, take this example. This is the outer page table and this is the inner page table. So this page table contains the index of the inner page table. This outer page table entries, it contains the index of the inner page table, and this inner page table it contains the frame numbers. See, this contains the index of the inner page tables, and inner page table it will contain the index or identify the frame numbers. See, it contains entries of the frame number from 1 to 500. The similar way 10 to 708. See, 9 to 900. Got it? So this is the example of 2-level scheme. Here this P1 it is the index of the outer page table, and P2 is the index of the inner page table. In the similar way, in the 3-level paging scheme, yes, it is a, so here the length of the outer page table is 42-bit and the inner page table length is 10-bit. P2 length is 10-bit. Again, in the 3-level paging scheme, this 42 again will be divided into 2 parts, P1, P2, P3. Now this is the outer page table. It is the second outer page table, and this is the first outer page table, and this is the inner page table, and this is the offset, right? Here we have first page table, and second one page of page table, and the third one page of page table. This is a 3-level scheme. Again, if the number of entries is more, it is very difficult to maintain this scheme. So for that we go with the second technique, that is hashed page table. So here in the hashed page table, yes, here we are using hashing function and will identify the hash table entries, right? So here in the hashed page table, the hash value being the virtual page number, and each entry in the hash table it will contains the linked list of elements, so that hash to the same location. So in this, each element it will consist of the 3 fields. So in that, the first one is a virtual page number, and the second one is the value of the mapped page frame, and the third one is a pointer to the next element in the linked list. Here, see, this is the logical address. By using the hash function, you will generate the hash table entry or index, and by using this, see, this is the linked list format, and first you identify the frame here. Next you will search that key with this hash function key with this linked list. Is it present? No. And we go with the, we search in the next link, right? Yes, F is present here, then we add this F with the D, page offset value, and you can easily identify the frame here. Hash page table. And the next one is the next technique is the inverted page table. So inverted, right? Take an example, for example, process P1. So that process P1, it will be divided into, say for example, 100 pages. That process P1 will be divided into 100 pages, right? But the main memory size is only 10. It can occupy only 10 pages, 10 frames. So if you construct the page table with 100 entries, it is no use, right? Say for example, process P2, again it contains 1000 pages. That process P2 may be 1000 pages. So construct the page table with 1000 entries, it is useless because the main memory size is only 10. It occupies only 10 pages. In that case, so inverted. So based on the main memory, you construct the page table. So based on the size of your main memory, you construct the page table, right? So that is called as inverted page table. Here, see, this logical address, it will contain the process ID, it will contain the process ID and the page number and the page offset. By using these two, PID and process ID and P, you can identify the particular frame number or index, right? By searching from top to bottom in the page table, you can identify this process ID and P, then you can identify the frame number, and by using that frame number, add this frame number with the D value, that is D is a page offset, you can identify the frame F here, right? So this is the inverted page table. So inverted page table, it is also called as modern page table. Yes, in the paging concept, say for example, so we have the main memory. Take an example of any program. So in that we have main memory and this one subfunction. So the size, the line of that main memory is, for example, 20 lines. The main memory contains 20 lines, and that subprogram or subfunction, it will contain 10 lines, right? Totally you will have 30 lines in that program. So you divide the that whole program into equal number of same size pages, right? So that page size may be 6. So in that you can divide that main whole program into 5 pages. So each page contain 6 lines. So for each 6 lines, it is equal to 1 page. So totally out of that 30 lines, you can construct 5 pages. So for each 6 is equal to 1 page, right? Okay. So here page 0 from main memory, page 0 contains first 6 line, page 1 contain next 6 line, page 2 contain next 6 line. So remaining in the main memory, it is 20 lines. So all from page 0, 1, 2 will contain only 18 lines. So the remaining 2 lines, it will be add in the next page, right? The page 3, it will contain 2 lines of the main memory and 4 lines of the subfunction code lines, right? Here, if you want to execute the main memory, you cannot easily execute that main memory, all the lines of that main memory, because if you store that page 3 into the main memory, the remaining 4 subfunction, it is not completed code, right, to execute that function. So that is the main disadvantage of the paging concept. So to overcome that, we go with the segmentation. Segmentation means here we divide that program into not equal number of size, it is divided into different sized blocks. See, this is your program that will be divided into different sized blocks. Here you can identify this is subroutine, this is your main program, this is symbol table, this is stack used by this program, and square root of sub function, like that. See, say for example you can take any C program and that will be divided into one is code and one is whole program will be stored in the code section, that is one block, and we group the all global variables, that is a second segment. The similar way heap used by that particular program, that all information that is present in the heap, that will be grouped into third segment, and the stack information and stack values, that is that will be in the fourth segment, and the standard libraries used by that particular program, that is divided and stored in the fifth segment, right? So here also CPU will generate the logical address. This logical address, it will contain the segment number and the page offset. So this again here instead of page table we are constructing the segment table. This segment table, it contains the two columns. So that two columns, the first column it will contain the limit register value, and another one is another column contain the base value, right? So what is limit and what is base register? The base register, it is a starting address of the segment or process, right? Starting address. So the limit register or limit space, it will contain the range of that segment, right? Here first we compare this D with the limit value. So if it is D value is less than the limit value, then we add this D page offset with the base value, and you will identify the physical memory. So if D is less than limit, this condition is false, then it is nothing but the addressing error. Take this simple example here. So we divide the program into 5 segments. So this is the page table entry, this is the base address, and this is the limit. So base address is, say for example, segment 0. This is segment number 0. This is the page table entry. The segment value 0, 1, 2, 3 is the index of the segment table. Here 0 is the segment 0 and 500 here. See, this is the starting address of segment 0, 500, and the limit register, it contains the range, right? Here also the limit column will contain the range. So the range of this is 600. 1100 minus 500 is 600. So 600 here. So segment 0 data will be stored in this. You can easily identify it, right? And the similar way, you want segment 1 here, right? So this is the base address 2500 here, 2500, 2500 here. This is segment 0. So the range of this is here. Say take this example. Say for example my D value was, say for example, 400. Now compare 400 is less than 600. Condition is true. So if that condition is true, 400 plus 500, it is 900. Yes, it is within the range, and you can identify this segment, and you can identify and execute that particular frame, right? And take for example 600. My D value was 601. I want to access the segment 0, but my D value is 601. 601 is less than 600. It is condition is not true. So in that condition, it will send the error message for you. I hope you understand all the concept. It is very easy concept, segmentation and paging technique. Thank you.